Hello and much love to anyone that clicked on the video. For those that don't know me, my name is Lightning Hearts and hopefully everyone's having a good start to 2025. I know I am. And to start off this year, I want to make one of the most, informative guides I can on the most difficult character in Under Knife and Birth 2, which is, as you can see, Yuzuhira. I've been playing this character since, early 2013 when the first Under Knife and Birth game came out for console, which was late. And it's kind of shocking that I haven't made a guide on this character yet, so that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to talk about Yuzuhira's normals, why this character is so fucking annoying to deal with in online battle, what's her strength and overall weaknesses, and things you should learn when you're trying to pick up this character. I'm going to cover all that in today's guide, but if you appreciate it, obviously show me some love. Hit the like button, comment down below how y'all feel about Yuzu. Do y'all like her? Do y'all hate her? Let me know. And if y'all really like my content, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying my best to do a guide for every single character for this game. Bear with me, these guides are really hard to make, but I promise y'all that I'll try my best to talk about each of your respective characters in depth. So please stay tuned to those future guide videos. But that being said, let's talk about the Swordmaster, Yuzuhira herself, and really discuss what makes her really strong in Under Knife and Birth 2. Let's get into it. So, what is Yuzuhira for people that haven't played Under Knife and Birth? To give y'all a quick summary, Yuzuhira is basically a stance character that only really uses 3 special moves, which is her 236, her 214, and her, let's see if I can do it on hitbox, excuse me, her teleport. She only has 3 specials, but the main reason why that is because each special you throw out, she's able to remain in this position, which is her stance, right? When you're in her stance, you're able to move forward, you're able to jump. If you throw out another super, let's say 236A, you're able to do like a double jump. Let's see if I can showcase this, like this, and you can dodge. So, this basically means that Yuzu is probably one of the most annoying characters to rush down if you are really comfortable being in her stance. That's why she doesn't really have that many supers. So, why is Yuzu considered a difficult character? Her main weaknesses is that she is kind of execution demanding. You have to be comfortable with switching buttons after you use her stance. You also have to be comfortable reacting to a lot of the things your opponent is throwing at you. And on top of the fact that her defensive options are not that good. So if you're in the corner with this character, you, sir, or ma'am that are watching, have to be comfortable with blocking. You have to be extremely fundamental with this character in the beginning because there is some rules that you're going to be breaking once you master her to really give you that edge in the match. So that is basically Yuzuhira. She's a stance character that has a lot of unique ways of mixing up her approaches in neutral, and she can be pretty annoying to deal with. If anyone watched the video of who is the most hated character in the game, she is arguably probably top 1 or top 3 most hated characters because of how well you can be with her. But now that I've talked about what Yuzuhira is, I'm basically going to discuss what her normals are, what normals you should abuse, her specials, obviously, and leave y'all a bunch of tips and tricks towards the end of the guide to where y'all can learn the character a lot more efficiently. So, let me talk about her normals now. Yuzu's normals. The way I like to discuss, normals in my guides is that I like to do it in chronological order. I talk about characters' A normals, their B and C, like we're climbing up a ladder, so I don't lose y'all when I discuss a lot of the normals that these characters have, right? So, to get started, Yuzu has a 5-frame 5A. For people that don't understand Under Knife and Birth's frame data, a 5-frame is the fastest normal in the entire game. Her having a 5-frame is really strong for a character of her archetype, which is nice. So, let me put hide off of reversal action. Is beyond all guard. Yes, it is. So, use as a 5-frame 5A. This is nice. You can probably stagger this 3 times on block. As you can see, 1, 2, 3. It has stubby range, but that's not bad whatsoever because this is a good way of you beating your buttons. As you can see, since she has a lot of good range on other normals, having a stubby A normal is not bad whatsoever. So, show y'all 1, 2, 3 on block is -2. This is not bad. Yuzu also has a 5-frame 2A, which is also good. So you can see, you can stagger this about 3 to 4 times on block, and it has slightly more range than her 2A, or her 5A, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, as you can see, you stagger this on 5A, you can only do this 3 times on block. So having a 5-frame 5A and 2A is really strong for a character like Yuzuhira. Moving on to her B normals. Yuzu has 5B, 4B, and 2B. I'm going to discuss her JB and her Dash B normals later, but I want to focus on these 3 normals now. So, 5B is a pretty good normal. It's -6 on block. You can end your pressure this way if you space it out correctly. So let's say your block string is like this. This is a good way of ending your pressure. So 5B is really good on that department, and you can kind of delay 5B into 5C, so you can do something like this. You see, a lot of users' normals are delayable, so this is nice. And just to show y'all the frame data, it's a 10 frame, only being -6 on block. So again, this is a safe way of ending your pressure, and it has pretty good range. Now, let's talk about Yuzu's 2B. Her 2B is actually really good. It's a 9 frame and it's only neutral on blocks. That means you can kind of stagger this normal, and it's really delayable, right? That's the best thing about Yuzu's normals, that you can delay almost all her normals. So you can do something like 5C into 2B. Most good Yuzu players will also tell you that you can rebeat with 2B because it's kind of fast. So you can see as pretty, it damn near has no recovery. So you can do 2B, 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 or 2B, 5C, and whiff it like that. So you can kind of whiff rebeat 2B. It's a really good normal. And and you can combo it with 5 and 2C. Great. So 2B is a good normal. You can also end your pressure off on 2B because it's neutral on block. So if you're a user player that doesn't know how to end off their block string, 2B is another great way of doing so. Really good. Now let's talk about 4B. 4B is probably one of Yuzu's defensive tools because, for one, it gives you a counter hit state and it destroys projectiles. See? So you can answer back with your own zones, like 2 through 6. So just to show y'all one more time, it destroys projectiles. And the best thing about this is that, let's say for example, your opponent wants to hit you with any sort of mid-range or medium normal, let's say high 6B. If you times it right, look what happens. Making this shit makes you look so bad. One more time. There we go. Making these guys make me look so trash, but we're gonna keep it pushing. You basically get a counter hit combo, right? So, like I said, if you times it right, you are granted a conversion. This is nice, good amount of damage, take back your turn, and overall fuck up your opponent for him trying to mash on you. So, consider 4B to be Yuzu's one of her defensive options, but please be mindful that if they hit you with a low, 4B is not going to help you out. It's able to destroy projectiles in certain mids like 5C, 5B, jump-in normals as well. So let me do it like this. So if high jumps in on you, you can do this with 4B. So this is really good for being defensive. So just to reiterate, you can get counter hit if they hit you with a low. Only covers highs and mids. Now, let's move on to Yuzu's C normals. She has 5C, 2C, and 4C. Let me talk about 4C first because this is one of Yuzu's best normals. I'm going to explain why that is. So, just to put them on guard, this is universal action. Alright, cool. 4C is a goated normal for Yuzuhira because, for one, if you check her frame data, it's only a 12 frame startup and it's only -4 on block. for players that don't know how to end their pressure, you can end it off of 4C. So, you can do stuff like this, and literally, people cannot punish this unless they grab it. But again, it has a good amount of pushback, so realistically speaking, you can end the pressure here. You see, I'm not going to get punished if I end it off of 4C. Another great thing about 4C is that this is your best hit confirmable normal. Let me showcase this for y'all. So, if you don't know how to do Yuzu's advanced combos yet, you can always link it into 4C. So you can do something like this, 4C, or something like this, right? This is a great way of you confirming a combo. So if you get the counter hit or hit with 2B, you can go straight into 4C. If you do 5A, you can do 4C. If you do 5B, 4C. Again, just to reiterate, safe on block, it's your hit confirmable tool, and you can special cancel. So even if you want to layer your pressure a little bit, you can special cancel. It's 2G6, special cancel into teleport, or special cancel into 214. 4C is one for goated normals, and don't let any user player tell you anything different. So please, if you're a beginner user player watching this video, abuse the fuck out of 4C because it will help you and it's safe as fuck. Moving on, Yuzu also has 2C. 2C is one for goated lows because it has a good amount of range. Let me show you. You see the range on this normal is crazy, and it's only -7 on block. If you space this out correctly, people can't punish you. See? And you can whip from it. And one of Yuzu's best combo starters. So 2C, really good. And for those that don't know, you can do 2C, 4C to get yourself in a little closer. See, you are safe. So, just one of Yuzu's best normals or best combo starters is only -7 on block, and what's the startup? It is 12 frames, so this is really good. So, Yuzu C normals are pretty strong. Now, let's talk about Yuzu's 5C. For those that don't know, Yuzu's 5C used to be our primary entire option because French Bread added a new move in Under Birth 2, which is 2FF, which is now her go-to entire option. But 5C is a good second alternative. Let me show high to jump. So, if someone's jumping at you, like this, 5C is a good answer. It's head invincible, and you can get a conversion. 5C, see, into a combo. So 5C is your second entire option. I'd rather you beginners go for 2FF because this move is too fucking stupid in this current version of Under Knife and Birth. But moving on. And on block, 5C is actually a really decent way of ending your pressure as well, if you space it out correctly. So you're like right here, you can rebeat it into 5A. So this is one of Yuzu's go-to rebeat options, 5C, 5A, and you can basically do stuff like this, right? And keep that space. If people want to basically hit you back with a normal, you can whip them. See? And fuck them up from them making a mistake. So for my beginner players, 5C, the 2A whip is one of Yuzu's go-to rebeat option, as well as 2C is a 2A whip. Make sure you rebeat your A normals. I forgot to mention that. Now, that was her 5C, 4C, and 2C. Let me talk about her J normals now. You have JB, her legendary meme normal, which is her JA, El Labo, and her JC. But first, let me talk about her JB because it's probably the best normal we're going to use for, I guess, keep out, right? JB has a pretty fucked up hitbox. It's kind of low key. People are not really gonna see this, as you can tell. This has, like I mentioned, is really far reaching. So let's say Hyde is running at you. Go to the jump and then run. So I know. See? You can do stuff like that. So if you jump backwards, you can basically keep out your opponent that way. So if you really are a high-level Yuzu player, you will see them do stuff like this. JB into confirm 236 and get a conversion. So for my beginner Yuzu players, please abuse the fuck out of JB. This is a good keep out normal. The same can be said with JC, but JC comes out at 12 frames, JB comes out at 9 frames. It's faster, and they both, weirdly enough, have the same hitbox. But again, I'd rather y'all use JB a little bit more than JC. Her Ella bow is used for kind of cross-up or mix-up scenarios. Even though this game has cross-up protection, you can do a lot of interesting setups with Yuzu. Let me see if I can show y'all one right now. Hold on. This is all old setup, right? So the best thing you can use Yuzu's JA for is stuff like this and run under. If they tech backwards, you can run under and basically reset them into another combo. So let me just show y'all a recovery backwards. Now you see, and you go for a reset in this scenario. That's the best thing that a lot of old school Yuzu players used to do. They would end it with JA, run under if they teched incorrectly, and now you can reset a whole new combo. So this is good. But this only works if you do it like this. Run under. And go for a new combo. So that's mainly what JA is for, and you can do stuff like this. It does also be used as like a meaty, but again, it depends on how you want to use it, right? It has a lot of active frames, so you can use it to reset or to meaty your opponent if they wake up incorrectly. So those are the benefits of using her JA to, I guess, to reset certain scenarios. So that was Yuzu's normals. Let me see if I forgot anything. I discussed her 5C or 4C. This is your golden hit confirmable 2. 4B is kind of like your defensive option. If people are mashing too much at you, JA can be used to reset situation. JB is your keep out normal, as well as 5C and 5B. Oh, actually, now that I mentioned, let me discuss her dash C and her dash B. These are the last two normals. Yuzu's dash C is a really good, I guess, combo extension. I don't think it's really used for pressure, but you can use it for pressure. I don't see a lot of Yuzu players do it though, in my honest opinion, and I don't really use dash C for pressure. But dash C is really good because it puts Yuzu airborne for you to go into her, I guess, shenanigans in the neutral. So you can do stuff like this, 56A, and basically move around once you get comfortable with Yuzuhira. So dash C is mostly I guess combo extension normal, because this is basically what you will use it for. Stuff like that, or you can do stuff like this and all that sort of shit. Forgive me for dropping my combos. It's been a hot minute since I played Yuzuhira. And JB is a better version of J or 5B, because 5B comes out at 10 frames, JB comes out at 8 frames, and it's a lot safer. You see, being at -5 or -5. You see, 5B is -6 at a 10 frames. Dash B is an 8 frame at -5. So if you really want to be safe, you can do stuff like this, right? You can rebeat, let's say 5C, 5A. Yeah, 5C, 5A, rebeat, dash B, special cancel into 66, and stuff like that. So her dash B is really, really good. And also, this is one of your combo extensions as well. This is mostly used for your combo ender to get into 226A and go into multiple slashes and get the combo game. I was editing the video, I forgot to mention her J normals or her assault normals, right? So I'm gonna quickly input this into the guide, so forgive me for the rough editing. But Yuzu has J2C, which is her go-to assault normal. Again, JB, JA, these are good, but the main reason why I want to put this into the guide as of ending the video is that her J2C is really good because you can cancel it with your assault. This allows you to grab and get out shield. So, if you want to get in on someone and you feel like someone's being a little too patient or passive with you, J2C is a good way of mixing up your opponent, right? You do J2C or J2C charge, see if he's shielding. Same thing with JB, like I mentioned, has pretty good range, and JA, be careful because if they shield this, you could get fucked up, but that's all we have J2C charge for. But yeah, that was my little piece with the J normals. Now moving on into wherever I put this part of the edit in, so forgive me for that. But I think I discussed everything. Just to reiterate one last time, Yuzu has a 5 frame 5A, fastest A normal in the entire game. Keep out JB, 5C good, 4C at the flammable tool, JB, like I mentioned, used to keep you out, and 2C is one of the golden lows to start up her combo. But that being said, now let me discuss Yuzu specials and the 3 things you need to learn in order to play this character at the highest level. Let me talk about it. Okay, Yuzu specials. I want you beautiful people to please bear with me because there is a lot of explanation when it comes to this character, especially in this category of the guide, because I'm just going to say right here, Other Knife and Birth does not do a great job at really explaining Yuzuhira in depth. Even someone like me that's been playing this character for about 7+ years, she is really complicated to understand. So just to reiterate, please bear with me when I explain this character. I want to provide y'all all the information I can, so when you click off this video, you're not looking at docs or whatever shit to find out what you need to find out, right? I'm going to explain it all in this portion or this part of the video. So, like I mentioned, Yuzu is a stance character. She only really has 3 specials. She has 2-6, which is this, her teleport, and 2-4. The main reason why she has 3 specials is because she's a stance character, but she has 3 concepts that you have to understand so you can pilot this character to the highest level. I want y'all to avert your attention to the letters underneath her health bar that are labeled A, B, C, and D. These represent what specials you have available and what specials you cannot do with this character. But, like I mentioned with the 3 concepts, you have to understand Yuzu's hold, her swipe, and her D cancel. Let me explain her hold first. Hold is basically you just holding a button after you do her specials or her 6 input. I'm going to discuss her 6 inputs in a sec, but I want to explain these concepts first so y'all understand where you can use these specials in certain scenarios. So, if you input your 3-6Bs and you hold the button, right? As you can see on the letters, B is now highlighted pink. When you hold Yuzu's, when you hold a button after you do a special with Yuzu, you're able to move forward, you can jump, you can dodge, and you can slightly walk up. These allow you to regain her, I guess her items or her abilities in certain scenarios, alright? So if I whiff these moments, you see, A and C are now dark. I can't use them no more. But look what happens when I move slightly forward. They now come back for me to do it again. I move forward, and now I can continuously with these specials. Now, another good thing that you need to come to use when you learn this character is that Yuzu can dodge. So, let's say for example, Hyde is throwing a projectile at you, right? Hold on, let me put him to record. There we go. Hyde is throwing a projectile at you. If you are able to time it correctly, and let's say you're wasted your slashes already, now I get my abilities back. So again, Yuzu's able to move slightly forward to regain her stances, and if you dodge successfully, she regains her abilities. And mind you, when you dash forward regularly, you don't get her stances whatsoever. You're just able to move slightly forward into neutral, and you can still dodge and do other teleportations if you input correctly. So basically what I mean with the whole concept is it allows you to maneuver while you're still in stance to better set you up to hit your opponent. So if you're out of range with Yuzuhira, like right here, you can still move slightly forward and connect with your opponent. So please, with the whole concept, it just basically means that you're in stance, you're allowed to do a whole bunch of other maneuvers. So that's your hold. Now the swipe is a little bit different. When you input 236B or any special that you do, if you quickly press on and hold a different button, you're able to use the same ability. So, if I input 236B and I quickly move to the C button, as you can see, I did it because now C is highlighted pink. I can do 236B once more. This is really, really good at confusing your opponent neutral. So again, I do 236B and I quickly move my finger to the C or any other normal that you're comfortable with on your controller. And now I can input the same special that I wasted already. This is the swipe concept. Being able to do the same special in succession because you quickly move your finger, let's say B to C. This is really good. And let's say, for example, it works with EX as well. So if you do 236C and you quickly shift the C to A, I can do 236C again. So you can do her specials 2 times in succession, which is really dope. Now, that is the swipe concept. Basically just being able to move your B to C or any normal that you're comfortable with, like D. So you do 236B and you hold it to D, you can do it again, all sorts of shit. It just basically means you can do the same special twice, right? So that one is not as complicated. The D concept, however, is where you get that complication from, if I'm going to summarize it like that. Because what the D cancel allows you to do is basically 2 things. The D cancel gets you out of Yuzu stance a lot faster, and you're able to use a special that you wouldn't be able to do because you already wasted it. So, let me talk about the, the stance cancel real quick. If you are basically in the air with Yuzu, right? And you're trying to move around and you press D, she gets out of stance. In certain situations with this character, doing this allows her to make a unique, pressure. Allows some of her specials to be plus rather than negative, and it makes you a lot safer once you do a special, so you're able to get out of stance a lot quicker. So let me show you 3 major things that you're going to do or that you want to do once you want to cancel out of her stance. A lot of advanced Yuzu players do this. If you input 236C and you hold C, right? I didn't decancel that. I did 236C, I held the button, and I just randomly jumped down. Now, if you do 236A and decancel, you're able to throw out a normal afterwards because you're quickly getting out the stance rather than have it recover naturally. So let me showcase this for y'all. 236A, I jump up, and now I can jump down with JB. So it allowed you to get out of stance a lot quicker. Another thing with Yuzuhira is that look at her 214 special. If you do 214 in the air, right? As you can see, in terms of frame data, it's neutral on block. Well, look what happens when you're able to decancel in the middle of it. It becomes from neutral to +3. So again, the decancel allows you to get out of stance a lot quicker. It allows you to go for a lot more advanced routes that the game doesn't tell you for some weird fucking reason. But I'm telling you here, in certain instances, you have to press D so you're able to either get plus frames to remain safe or to be able to throw out a normal that you wouldn't normally be able to throw out because of the recovery of the stance, right? So, especially this combo. Hold on. Especially this combo. You cannot do this combo unless you decancel. So, you see, this is a regular combo. Now look what happens when you decancel. You can put in 2 normals. So, again, the decancel, one of the aspects, it allows you to get out of stance a lot quicker. So, this is the second thing you can do with it. In terms of her specials, right? If you do 236B and then you do the swipe concept and do 236B again, this is something that you can do, like I mentioned with decancel. I know I'm going off the rails, but bear with me. As you can see, my B letter is highlighted black. If I input 236B plus D, I'm able to do 3 specials in a row. So look, I inputted it, now I did 236B once more. Just showcase this again. 236B, I do the swipe concept. You can see C is highlighted. I do B once more. And now I did it twice. I can do it a 3rd time because now I'm inputting 236B plus D. I did the same specials 3 times. So this is why Yuzu only has 3 specials rather than having like 4 or 5 like other characters. It's because she's able to mix up her options once you get really, really good with her. And now that I mentioned her hold, her swipe, and her decancel, now let's talk about her individual specials as well as her 6 inputs. And the main reason why I'm putting her 6 inputs in this part of the guide is because it's extremely important, especially when it uses pressure in the mid-range. So let me talk about individual specials, then I'll talk about her 6 inputs. Yuzu has 236B. This is a really good mid-range move because once you get hit with it, it allows her a complete conversion. So 236B, you get a combo. 236A is your air slash that basically stops jumping. So if someone's trying to jump in at you, this is your golden move, right? And you can get a combo if you decancel. But I'm fucking up. So 236A, stop jumps in. 236B is your golden neutral option and grants you a conversion. Even though I suck at using it now because I've been playing it for years. So those are the main things you're going to throw out with this character in neutral. She also has 236C. This basically covers both angles, right? But the great thing about 236C is that you don't have to wait for the animation to be done to input another super. So you do 236C into 236B and so on and so forth. So don't wait for the animation to be done with 236C. You can just input 3 or B or whatever the case that y'all choose to mix up your opponent. Fast and steady is kind of the key with this character, low key. So she has B, A, and C. These are our regular pressure options in the neutral. Now let's discuss 214. 214 is this flip that she does. It might seem kind of, I wouldn't say useless, but not as useful as 236B. But I want to show y'all why we want to use this, especially in the neutral. Once you understand where you can mix up your options with 214B, this becomes a really good get-in tool because, like I mentioned, once you do 214 and you do the decancel, it becomes negative or neutral to plus. So this is a great way of using getting in. But just to reiterate or just to remind y'all, you have to do this when she's in the air. So you got the instant air special. Can't do this on the floor. If you do this on the floor, this is not going to be plus. This is going to be negative. So if you do 214 on the floor, this is -3, even if you do the decancel. You have to do it in the air. So it has to be like right here for her to get the plus frames. But she has 214A, which is basically like an upward slash or upward flip. She has 214B, which is a medium flip. And she has 214C, which is the only true reversal option that Yuzu has in her disposal. Again, once you're in the corner with this character, you have to fucking block. So if you're like right here, you can't do 214C. But if you're spaced out like right here, you can use 214C. And this is good because especially if you have VOPAL like I do now, you can chain shift and do it to punish whatever option that your opponent is throwing at you. So just be mindful. Your opponent has to be in a certain spacing before you can throw out 214C, because if you throw it out right here, you're going to get punished. But yeah, her 214 is really good because once you added her stance concept, you're able to confuse your opponent. So you can jump in the air, move around, de-cancel, come in with a J normal, all sorts of shit. You can do this, jump, disappear. Her 214 is really, really, really good. I cannot stress that enough. And the final thing that Yuzu has is her teleport. She has her A teleport, which allows her to throw in her 6 inputs. Yeah. Forgive me for my execution. I haven't played this character in a minute. But she has her A teleport, which allows her to get in the range to utilize her 6 inputs. So 6C, 6B, and 6A. So if you A teleport, you can use these 6 inputs, right? So this is good. She has the B teleport, which completely goes behind your opponent. This is good for mixing up. So you can do stuff like 236B and then B teleport and basically mix up your options, right? And Yuzu has C teleport. This isn't by any means an EX special. She just basically teleports above her opponent in the air. So back teleport, but now she's airborne rather than her being grounded. And if you're airborne with Yuzu and you do her C teleport, she gets grounded, as you can see. So yeah, 214 is really good. Her 236 inputs are really good, and her teleport just allows her to be in a good position to mix up her opponents. Hopefully I broke down a lot of what makes Yuzu specials good, but now let me talk about her 6 inputs. Yuzu's 6 inputs, if I'm going to say this as easy as I possibly can, these 6 inputs are only really used, especially when you see a high level Yuzu player, is to constantly pressure your opponent and to regain stance or to get out of stance a lot faster. This is the repetition that I want you beginner players to start doing, especially when you pick up this character. You have to get into the habit of whiffing her 6 inputs. You kind of have to think of her as rebeating with a lot of her other normals, or rebeating in general, right? So, this is what a lot of advanced Yuzu players do. They do 236B, they do 6C or 6A, so they do it like this, 236B, 6A, and they immediately de-cancel, so they can get out of stance. So this is what your pressure should look like in the neutral. 236B, right? You see? Let me see if I can showcase this, right? You see that little circle around Yuzuhira? Once she's about to get out of stance, that's me de-canceling. So I input 6A and I press D immediately, so I can get out the stance faster to allow me to zone a lot quicker. So just to show y'all, 236B, 6A, de-cancel. Now she's completely out for me to do it again. And if you really want to layer her pressure, this is what you have to do. Remember the swipe concept? 236B, I swipe the C, do the input, and do it like that. That's level 2. 1, 2, and now I can throw 2 B slashes in neutral and quickly get out of stance. So you can do stuff like this. And if you're really advanced, you can do this, this, de-cancel, this. A lot of good advanced Yuzu players, what they also do is they would do 6C first, and then 236B. They would do it like this, right? It's sort of like a rhythm with Yuzu once you understand each concept that goes into this character. Because once you get familiar with holding, the swipe, and the de-cancel, there are a lot of interesting combinations that you're going to have with this character to confuse your opponent in the mid-range. And for people that don't know, if you look at the wiki with this character or the Muzu page, she is considered the mid-screen monster, and that's why. Because she's able to mix up her options She's able to navigate neutral a lot better than most of the characters in this game. So this is something that you beginner players have to come to learn and practice once you go into training mode. Simple thing, 236B, 6A, and to be canceled. And now you can continuously throw out these slashes into neutral. And once you know your opponent wants to hit you back with something, again, you can move forward to regain your abilities, and you can dodge to regain your abilities. So this is really strong. And this is showing y'all these individual slashes. 6C is a low, 6B is a medium, and 6A is like a medium air slash. These are all good in their respective ways. I think 6B or 6C you can combo into each other. So you can do this, right? If you hit someone with 6C, you can confirm it into 236B. Right? If you hit someone with 6B, you can confirm it into 236A. So, like I mentioned, really strong. And I think that's all I have to leave with Yuzu's specials. Hopefully I gave y'all all the information y'all need. Now let me talk about another thing that is gonna probably throw y'all under the loop, which is Yuzu's force function as well as her VOPAL trait. That's gonna be another thing I'm gonna have to discuss in extreme lengths. But let's get on with it. Yuzu's force function. I know even y'all probably watching this, you're like, man, this is a lot of shit that goes in with this character. But Yuzu's force function. I want y'all to consider Yuzu's force function as almost the same concept as the things I talked about were special, but slightly different. She has 3 unique properties with her force function. That being, even though she has 2 FFs, but let me talk about her regular FF first. Her FF is, she probably has the most unique force function in the entire game, or like probably the most utility with her force function in the entire game. If you press B plus C, right? She does this medium slash. This medium slash is good because in the air, it basically floats you slightly back for you to zone. This is kind of used for keep out. So if you press B plus C, you can also input her other specials like 236A, 214, teleport, wherever the case may be. But if you quickly do if you quickly input B plus C and then forward, she cancels, and this gives her invincibility. And if you hit someone with it, you can still move forward. So you see, this is a lot of things that good user players like doing. They will input 236B, B plus C, and teleport back, right? Because once you do it like this, you're still in the range of 236B. So 236B at F, back teleport, and now I'm safe, and I can still constantly zone at my opponent. So these are one of the things you can do with Yuzuhira. So FF, move forward, or FF, fake out, move slightly back, or FF, fake out, and do a whole bunch of shit. You can also jump with her B plus C as well. That's the first thing you can do with Yuzuhira. The second thing is that if you fully charge her B plus C, it becomes a unblockable. So you hold 2 buttons, as you can see, I got fucked up, and he's on all guard. So just to show y'all, if I hold B plus C, this becomes unblockable, and if you have VOPAL, you get a conversion. Alright, so this is nice. And the best thing about her B plus C is that you can also fake it out as well. Not with the teleports, but you doing the swipe concept. So if you input her FF and then another normal, as you can see, she has this little flicker of light and it completely disappears. And now she can go straight into her specials. So FF, you do the swipe concept, and now I can throw in a different special. As you can see, that is another concept she has with her force function. If I look annoyed talking about this character, is because she has so much shit that's within her kit that is low-key a lot to explain, but let me keep it pushing. The final thing that Yuzu can do with her FF is something like a teleport slash, and I think this was introduced in Underknife and Birth Clear, or I think in this game if I remember correctly. So if you input her FF and then A, she does this teleport slash, right? And the best thing about this slash is that if you input either 4-4 or 6-6, either 4 or backwards, she can still do the teleport and still zone at you, right? So this is really good. So you can do stuff like this: go backwards, and then still pressure with her other slashes. So just to reiterate, her regular FF is like a medium range slash. If you do it afterwards or before, you can still move forward or backwards, right? If you hold it, it's completely unblockable. And you do her FF plus A, she's able to do like this mid-range slash. And if you do the whole concept, you can still do her other special, right? So this is really good. So slash, FF into A, I hold C, and I can still do her other shit. Really, this character is crazy now that I talk about her. But yeah, that is her force function. You can also do it in combos as well, but it's a lot more difficult. Let me see if I can showcase one. It's really hard, so I'm probably not gonna do it by dropping. Yeah, then you do. Yeah, stuff like that, and then you go into like her normal staple. So you can combo with her force function. It's just when you do it with her FF plus A, it's a lot more difficult. Now, the second force function that she has is the goaded anti-air option, her 2F. This is basically where she flings her sword completely vertical, and this allows you to get a conversion, right? And the best thing about this FF is that you can also do it when you do her specials. So you do stuff like this, right? So if you do, but this is high level execution. So if you do 236B, you do B teleport into 2FF, you can get a combo. So again, it's really execution demanding, and the timing has to be really good. See? Got the corner, I got the combo, I got the damage. All is good in the world for a user man. So this is your goaded anti-air option because it grants you a combo, obviously, not even on a counter hit, just a regular hit. See? And you can do it in you can do it while you're special excited. So you can do 204, FF, this. Okay. I haven't done it with 214. I think you can, though. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, you can. It's a little more complicated. So, a lot of interesting things you could come up with this character. Another thing is that on block, her 2FF is actually really good because you can special cancel and get to stance. So if you hold a button, you can still remain safe. If you do it normally, this is -13. You're gonna get punished and fucked up, so don't do it by itself. Make sure you implement the whole concept. You hold a button after you do it, she gets into stance, and now you can mix up whatever option you want with your opponent. So that is her force function. And her VOPAL trait is not really crazy. Her VOPAL trait just allows her to do these things 4 frames faster, if I remember correctly. So if you have VOPAL, Yuzu has VOPAL right now because she's highlighted blue. Her unblockable becomes a lot faster, and I think her regular FFs just become a lot more faster. So that's really weird. It's not really to write home about. But yeah, that is Yuzu's force function and her VOPAL trait. These have a lot of unique properties behind them. I'm probably going to talk about the tips I can use for this character, so where you can learn it a lot faster. So I'm going to discuss that right now. Okay, a tip that you Yuzu players should be doing, in my honest opinion, is you have to play this game called The Floor is Lava. I want y'all to get into the training room, set your dummy to zone at you, and basically get comfortable being in a stance, right? You have to, as a Yuzu main especially, you have to be able to react to things that are getting thrown at you in this game. Because once you're able to dodge something on reaction, even though this is a bad matchup for High, right? You can answer back with your own tools and basically fuck up your opponent. This character is annoying as fuck. Just to put it simply, she's annoying because the things that you want to do with this character, if you fight a really, really good high-level Yuzu player, she's going to stop every single option that you throw at her. Which is why people deem her top tier, maybe top 3. She's really scary when she's in the right hands. So, go into the training lab, play this game, The Floor is Lava, and just get comfortable with being in the air, throwing your specials, doing the concepts that I explained throughout this guide, the hold, the swipe, and the D-cancel, and just get comfortable being in the stance. Like, you should be able to react to zone or people zoning at you and answering back quickly. So just set your dummy to a pro projectile, walk forward, right? We try one more time. Even me, I'm not that good, right? So again, like if you really want to get high level with this character, these are things you have to put in consistent practice. You have to be in the lab and understand what this character wants to do. Because once you get the repetition down, once you understand what you can combat in neutral, she becomes probably one of the most annoying fucking characters in this game. So, The Floor is Lava, jump around, set a dummy with zone projectiles at you, and just be able to dodge it on reaction, and just lab out a lot of counter moves that you can do with these characters. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is, like I mentioned, with the supers, you have to get into the habit of D-canceling. This should be like second nature to you beginner Yuzu players. Every time you throw something out with Yuzu, you have to 1, hold a button, and 2, D-cancel. This is how you're going to be able to consistently pressure your opponent in the mid-range. So again, 236A, 6A, D-cancel, or 236B, excuse me, 6A, D-cancel. Sometimes when your opponent's playing really, really patient, it's okay for you to kind of walk back, right? Once you really become comfortable with Yuzu and you understand her flowchart a little bit, it's okay for you to wait for your opponent, right? So once you have those, once you have her pressure down pat, you can do stuff like this, like walk forward slightly, keep him guessing, and then bang, I hit you with something. So depending on the level of player you're playing against, doing this 24/7 can be a detriment, but sometimes it's okay to slow down and just see how your opponent's going to react. Because, like I mentioned, she can dodge, she can jump, she can move around. So you have all the liberties in the world of you seeing what your opponent wants to do at you and answer back accordingly. So I guess this is tip number 2. Make sure you D-cancel as well as with your 6 inputs, but at the same time, don't do it so much. You want to see what your opponent wants to do and react accordingly. Because she's able to create a lot of whiff punishing opportunities because she has this dodge mechanic. So it's okay to play slow sometimes with this character. And so I guess that's tip number 2. This is going to be my 3rd tip for you Yuzu players. I think a lot of what beginner Yuzu players do is that they always want to run up on their opponent with this character, and that's probably one of the worst things y'all can do. Not the worst things, but the best thing about Yuzu is the fact that she's able to constantly like pressure you in the mid-range. So the thing that you beginner players should be doing is always staying in this position. You should only really be here if you're trying to grab someone or you're coming in with an assault, because now you're not opening them up with your pressure in the mid-range. but staying here as Yuzu is her best spot in certain matchups. Like Hyde right here, this is probably the best place she can be, because if he zones at you and you're in the air, you can answer back with J226A, you can teleport, you can go in with your 6 inputs. You being in the mid-range is one of the best positions you can be as a Yuzu player. And another thing that I can add is that make sure you learn a corner combo route, corner carry combo, and especially with Yuzu's grab, you're able to get that, right? You see I'm in the corner now. Even though this combo didn't do that much damage, you see what I mean? If you get a grab with Yuzu, learn like a corner carry combo, so you're able to get your opponent to the corner, you're right here, and now you're just able to lock him down like in this range without having to worry about DPs, jump-ins, fast ass supers. You can literally be at this range and lock down your opponent. So as a Yuzu player, being in the spot, especially in the corner or in neutral, is the best thing y'all can possibly do, if I'm gonna say it like that. But yeah, that's tip number 3. I wouldn't call this part a tip. I'll say this is more, I don't even want to call it advice, but I just want to say this for you beginner Yuzu players. This character doesn't have the best defensive options. So if you're going to pick up this character, my advice for y'all is that you have to be comfortable with blocking. I know I said this in the beginning, and I probably mentioned it throughout this guide, but please, this game rewards you a lot off of you being defensive, especially when you obtain VOPAL, and Yuzu has really good ways of chain shifting for her to get out of a bad situation, right? So if you have 200 bars and you win the VOPAL cycle, you can chain shift IW, chain shift 214, probably chain shift into 4B, wherever the case may be. You have to be comfortable on the defensive end. So if you really want to main this character and be a high level Yuzu player, learning certain block strings and how to defend yourself is probably the best thing y'all can do in the long run, because once players understand that you don't want to block, trust me, your journey is going to be a lot harder. So go into the lab once more, have your dummy hit you, and just be comfortable with holding back and waiting for your opportunity to arise. Because as a Yuzu main, especially me, someone that has been playing for a very long time, this character has shown me and told me, listen, I might be an annoying fucking character in the mid-screen, but once I'm in the corner, I'm damn near a rat in my own hole. I don't want to be found, and I don't want to get killed by no cat. So please play smart. That's all. That's probably my #1 advice for you Yuzu players. You have to be comfortable with blocking with this character. I know some of y'all are probably rolling your eyes, but that's me saying I see it. But I think that's the end of this guide. Hopefully this guide was good for y'all. My name is Lightning Hearts. I've been playing under Knife and Bird for a very long fucking time. And this year, 2025, I'm trying my best to really make guides for all the characters in this game. So stay tuned for those future guides if y'all really want to keep up to date with my content. But yeah, hopefully I taught y'all something about the godlike sword mating herself, Yuzuhira, and stay tuned to the next video. Y'all have a blessed one.